guys, and welcome to another local podcast. Currently, we're in Starine, ancient ruins of an old city, Salona, ancient Roman city. And this is my guest Marina.
Hello.
She lives in Solin. So, how would you introduce yourself?
Well, how would I introduce myself honestly? I can say I'm an urban, cosmical, musical witch, as I like to call myself. And I often like to present myself to people as somebody that really emanates someone that will prove to the people that witches are not scary at all, as they are actually portraying them in the Western cultures.
Yes, I agree. But how would you describe your personal practice?
My personal practice would be something that is most close to being an eclectic Wiccan, as I would like to say I will sign up everything but say no to all of that stuff, because I like to pick up the stuff that I like, that I resonate with, that I feel the most complimented with, that I can feel the truth that comes from within. But for my own personal practice, I will say everything and nothing all at once.
At the same time?
Yes,
So
that's what we have in common.
Eclecticism maxing.
Eclecticism that is not even eclectic Wiccan. So eclecticism that is not even an eclecticism.
Oh no. So they're basically playing the Croatian
National anthem, yeah.
For it was quiet until we started filming podcasts, but it's always something. Anyway, what drew you specifically to eclectic Wicca specifically?
Well, it all started when I was a kiddo. I was always obsessed with stars, I was obsessed with constellations, and I was obsessed with shiny stones. And I don't even know how that drew me, but when I was a teenager, when I was using my alter ego in the video games, I would always use a nickname Zvijezdana, which could be translated to something like Stardust. When it comes to eclectic Wiccan, I have seen that many of their followings is something that actually resonates with me, like connection to astrology, connection to natal charts, connection to crystals, and also to self-discovery and inner work, which is also connected to shadow work, which is something we all need to work on. All need to work on.
Yes, but in different formats, because some people shouldn't be doing shadow work in the form of ritual and invocation and things like that, but everyone should be doing shadow work, because shadow work is essential to Jungian individuation. Or basically, if you don't know anything about Jung, it's psychological healing on a deeper level, where you're discovering parts of yourself that have been hidden for a long time, which cause you anxiety or depression or trauma, like something that's a part of you, but your ego is denying. That's a shadow.
Yep, and the shadow work basically costed me my mental health, I will openly say about that. I have been a proud mental health warrior and also a volunteer for the local organization that takes care for people with various stronger or weaker mental disabilities to help reintegrate them back into the society. Not working on my own shadow because I wasn't instructed, nobody ever told me to do so, basically led me to being diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder when I was 21, and I'm 41 now. So that's
20 years of schizoaffective disorder.
Yes, and 20 years of battle that I'm proudly winning.
One of my last guests, there are two last guests, but one of them also had a diagnosis of schizoaffective, but now they switched it to schizophrenia. And they're going to switch it back, and they're going to switch it back to schizophrenia.
It all depends about the symptom. They have to give the label.
Yeah, it depends on how he behaves and what psychiatrist is diagnosing him, because every psychiatrist treats symptoms differently, and the DSM-5 or any diagnostic manual is not a objective 101 how to say that description of human psyche. It's basically just a tool.
It is just a tool to label it and to number it by which way they can actually give the proper psych medications,
Yes,
because they just
yes,
have to
yes.
label it in the book. And for them, honestly, sometimes I myself feel like just a number in the book, and that's that. It's
Yeah.
like for the most of the times, the psychiatrists, they don't look at you for you
As
who
a
you
human
are
being,
as a
they
person.
look at you as
Yes.
your disorder.
Yes.
Which is kind of fucked up in the system that we live in, and in the psychiatric psychotherapy system in the West, that's kind of fucked up. And a lot of psychiatrists and psychologists are working on that to improve that system so it
Yep.
doesn't stay crappy forever.
Yep.
But we can only hope.
Fingers crossed. I will cross all the fingers if I could.
Yes. So how do you balance if you have schizoaffective disorder? You occasionally have psychosis.
Yes.
So how do you differentiate psychosis from healthy magical thinking in your practice?
Well, it's a thin line, as there is always a thin line between the madness and reality, always. And
Exactly.
I'm always balancing on that thin line. Let me just tell you, I'm having a lot of fun there.
Yeah,
Well,
surfing
but
on
how?
surfing on the edge of schizophrenia is fun sometimes, but don't fall into deep waters.
Basically, sometimes I can see things that normal people cannot do. Sometimes I can hear things that normal people cannot do. But for example, if I were now hypothetically to sit here and to hear a maniacal laughter that comes from this side, I do the reality check. Reality check. Nobody's on my left side. Nobody's standing here. Us two are here alone. So that must be a hallucination, either a hallucination or I have to draw a line or something I hear from a different dimension. Now, most of the times I do not know the difference and I cannot tell the difference, but it's just something that's not there and that cannot be there at this
Physically,
present moment.
physically.
So I learned to hear the symptom and follow. Will that symptom occur again? But when it comes to my magical thinking, my magical feelings, my intuitions and my manifestations, I just see them happen. I don't even need to overwork something on
Yeah.
that or read some extra books. I just open my heart to the universe and stuff
the
just
universe
happens.
speaks.
And just happens. Universe just speaks and I'm there to dance.
Nice, nice. I love the answer. So last time where I talked about this similar topic with Berislav, we talked about the difference between regular, normal synchronicities and what you think in psychosis are synchronicities. And there's a difference because normal synchronicities, they are statistically unlikely. So, for example, you think about connecting to the moon goddess, to the mother goddess, and you did a ritual, and the next day someone gifts you a huge poster of a moon and a lady for no reason. They just tell you, I had this in my basement, I know you like moons and witches, here you go. That's some people will say it can be explained rationally, it's a normal thing, but what is the chance that that happened in that moment, right after you did that ritual? That's an actual synchronicity.
Yep, I would say that's an actual synchronicity. But there's also a thing where you need to be aware that
in
you
psychosis, it's different because you project synchronicities on normal events.
Yes, and you see them everywhere
Yeah.
and all the time, and then you overthink them, and they become your obsession. But psychosis can manifest in many ways. Like somebody can write stuff obsessively, somebody can collect stuff obsessively. Like for example, in many random psychosis, you have hoarders that see a meaning in everywhere
Meaning
and
in
in
trash.
everything, meaning in trash. And they just collect random stuff they found on the street and their homes become cluttered with trash. Like for example, those are the extremes. But when it
Yes.
comes to the example with the movie and the poster, it can be like, what was the ritual that you do to honor the moon goddess? And you know the triple goddess Hecate, as Wiccans would say. What was the ritual for the intention for? And also, that gifting of the moon poster could just be the reflection of what you did, the reflection of your intent, which I would also love to project my mind on Hermeticism. All is one is all is mind,
As above,
mind
so
is
below.
all, as above, so below, because we were all connected. Maybe in the same moment that ritual basically ignited a fire in that other person to inspire them to give them the moon poster. And there's also a thin line, because a person that is actually experiencing a psychosis can see that totally differently, and it can add to the person's mania or psychosis or whatever symptoms they are actually experiencing.
So would you say that the difference between normal, healthy, magical thinking and psychosis is the meaning? So in normal magical thinking, the meaning is connected to your psychological healing, to the things, to metaphysical and esoteric things that you read, that you understand thoroughly. But in psychosis, it's mostly
Exaggerated. It's exaggerated and overwhelming, and I can
and it's
talk by my
about
own
you
experience.
being an important person, either as almost a god, as a messiah, or someone who's being tracked down, observed, or in any case you're an important person, not just any human like any one of us.
Yes.
In psychosis, you are the shit. You are
The shit.
important,
I love that.
either
I love that.
either in a negative sense or in a positive
Or in a
sense, where
positive
your
sense.
ego is overinflated
Yes.
and you are next Jesus incarnation. You are Shiva. You are Lucifer. You are whatever.
Whatever you
But
believe in at that moment, because like
you
I
are
said,
Hecate. You are not worshipping. Like in this example with the moon, a normal magical thinking mind would say, okay, this ritual produced something in my mind, and because we are all connected, the synchronicity followed. But
Yep.
in a psychotic mind would be, this is proof that I am Hecate, and Hecate is directly
exactly.
communicating with me because I am her.
Exactly. It, like you said, it can also differentiate. You can feel like you are being tracked, or you are feeling because that you are the Messiah. It goes into variety of the, how would I say it, like a drastical difference between
There's a
I am being
spectrum.
tracked, somebody wants to kill me, I'm important, they want to kill me, or nobody can kill me, I'm
Because
indestructible.
I am I am able to resist the diseases. I am able to resist car crashes. I'm gonna drive like 150 miles an hour and nothing is gonna happen to me because I am God. Things like that.
And things like that make people in danger, being in danger, not also them, but also to the
Everyone
people,
around
other
them.
people on the street.
Yes.
And not only people on the street, they become a menace to society, but in a real way, because they are not logically thinking at the moments of heavy psychosis and manias, and they cannot differentiate that what they are doing or thinking or planning that has no logical reason and that have put a threat on somebody else's lives. Because at that moment, you have no limits. You feel like you can fly. And the way you walk, the way you talk,
It
everything
feels like
feels
the
like you're
truth.
flying. It feels like
That
the truth,
identity
yeah.
feels like truth. It feels like, okay, I know this rock is here. I know this is Starine. This is old Salona. And in that moment, when you're in psychosis, those thoughts that I am Jesus feel exactly like this rock is real.
Yeah, and people that are experiencing certain, I would say, psychosocial chemical disbalances in their own brain, but not only in their brain, also in their soul, because if their souls are not
This
healed,
balance, the brain follows.
it's a total disbalance, because if the soul hasn't been healed ever since they were young, their mind will easily fall out of the place. Now we will make a connection to consuming of substances, that people that have certain medical disorders, they have
And
medicine
predispositions.
prescribed. People have medicine prescribed, and then they think, okay, I'm feeling good now on these medicines, yes, I'm gonna throw them away. Boom, 4 months after, they end up at the
bounces
psych
back.
ward. It just bounces back. Or people that know that the medicine do them good, and they do more of them and more of them and more of them, and they end up in their life being endangered, and they end up almost dead.
Zoloft maxing. Yeah, it's how human thinking. It's very interesting how human thinking can go in different directions.
Yep.
And how hard it is to keep it in check, in balance, if you don't have the right resources and the right support, because it can go in so many directions. It can go either in the direction of complete psychosis, delusions, or it can go for some people that they completely deny anything spiritual, like not in a sense that they're just regular atheists, they just don't believe, like people who are like denying consciousness, like completely like get angry if you believe in consciousness. And
People
that's the way.
do not believe in energy, but they believe in Wi-Fi, they believe in Bluetooth, they believe in infrared, they believe in radio waves, and they do not believe in energy. Energy is all over us, even in our
because
body.
devices,
The atoms.
Yeah.
The atoms. That's all energy.
just because physical devices cannot record it doesn't mean it's not real. Maybe we just haven't developed the technology.
Yep.
I
Well,
don't-
then you have those certain radio devices that can allegedly record some spectral movements or esoteric movements or ghosts or spirits or stuff like that, or even anomalies and stuff like that. Then you have those tools that can specifically detect those stuff. Even electromagnetic fields
Yeah, they
that
recently.
the Earth even had.
They've recently recorded biophotons, so light emanating from living beings. It's quite interesting because it corresponds to the ancient teachings about prana or chi and how it connects, or like feng shui,
Yeah.
how energy moves through space. The way they can record the subtle light that's emitting from physical animals and humans, bodies, plants, everything. The way it behaves is very similar to how ancient societies describe energy. Like what we call in this society energy, but they call it chi or prana or something else depending on the culture.
They would say kundalini energy, the energy on the chakras, depending on the teachings that you were learning. As you guys can see, I already have a vast and broad knowledge. They called me zaštočić when I was a teenager, which was basically mean somebody that asks a lot of questions. And I remained the curious one. I remained the one who is
That's the way to
never satisfied with a single answer. That's the reason. Like, for example, I have a pentacle tattooed on my chest. I love to wear pentacle as the symptom of my belief, which is, by the way, a universal symbol that represents...
Old.
It's old, very old. It has been used in many religions. It is representing earth, water and fire, and the spirit above all, and that everything is connected with ether.
Also, the human body,
Yeah.
like how human is upright, walking,
Upright with the head,
and the head
then
is
the
representing
hands
the
and
connection
legs.
to the divine.
Yes.
Also, the Pythagoreans used it as a sign to show others that they are part of their group,
Yep. Yep.
which is a very old sign, just like the cross.
Yes.
It's not the cross is not necessarily only Christian symbol. It's very old.
I would say for me, when my boyfriend asked me what does the pentacle represents for me, I just simply said it is my way to say thank you to the universe to bring me here. Simple as that. I'm just wearing
Yes.
them. Well, a tattoo, a necklace, a ring.
A lot of
and
pentagrams.
I have a lot of earrings. There's pentagrams, all pentacles.
Pentagrams.
Sorry, pentacles. You're right, pentacles all around me. It's just a way. It's a way for me to say thank you to the universe.
We were talking about how the universe gave you, the sun gave you the sign of what?
Sun is a motivator for everything. Like, if it wasn't for sun, even these bioflora wouldn't be existing. If it wasn't for sun, it wouldn't be heats, it wouldn't be first fires. The sun symbolizes like life.
Yes.
It's just like life. You see the sun and every day rotates, no matter if you're here, if you're not here. When you die, when you transcend to what I like to say, the next level of your life, because I'm also a gamer, the sun will still be there. The earth would be rotating. The earth would be rotating. And if you were remain on the earth, as somebody believes in reincarnation, the days would still be going. The days would still be spinning.
Spitting. The sun will still be spitting its rays.
Metaphorically speaking, yes.
This reminds me of that meme where conquistadors came to the Aztecs and say, if it wasn't for us, you would still be worshipping the sun. And the Aztecs are saying, dude, the sun is real.
Oh my God, I love those religious jokes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, depending on the belief. Everything is a belief system.
Exactly.
Everything is a belief system.
Everything humans think is a part of some larger belief system. There's no way that you as a person, as a living human being, can invent something or think something or believe something that no one ever in the history of humanity ever thought. It's all connected, like all belief systems are belief systems. They're structures of ideas. And every idea that you have is connected to other ideas that you already have, or that you already picked up from somewhere or heard somewhere, or maybe you went into a different state of consciousness and you experienced a belief shift, which doesn't mean you as a person are a special individual who first time thinks this. You're just connecting to a belief system, to an egregore.
Yep. And it all depends also where you were born. Because I'm aware when a person is born in a Muslim country, they would be Muslim. If they were born in a Hindu country, they would by default be Hindu, and also upon our parents. Because even here, this is generally a Catholic country, where the Catholic Church is more spread and people are mostly wearing crosses around their neck.
Going to church.
They're going to church this Sunday, they're praying to the God, they're using the Ten Commandments and stuff like that. And they also, when their kids come to life, if they are still part of the same belief system, they will just like pass forward the belief that they were taught to believe. So you see,
just passed on the next generation.
Just passed on the next generation. For example, my mama and my grandma, they were atheists. Like total no belief system.
Yeah, like my dad is kind of an agnostic atheist, things like that. He doesn't say he doesn't believe in God particularly. He just says he doesn't know and we cannot know.
Yeah, what I like
but
to
he
say...
also doesn't believe in magic and thinks I'm going crazy when I'm putting my crystals and rocks outside to bathe in the moon. Always asks me about that, and I'm always like, so they can be shinier and get more energy or something like that.
How to explain somebody that is not a part of your same belief system as if you were to explain it to a 3-year-old child? How? They don't have that aspect. Like they just cannot get that what you are getting or feel that what you are feeling. It's like we are totally in a different plane of existence.
It's like you're in a different time zone.
Yes. But we're still here. We're still here together, all together, all
but
connected.
But it also depends on belief systems that correspond to the way your brain particularly works. So I cannot force my beliefs on someone whose brain works very different than mine. If I can feel nature spirits, no problem, and I'm 100% certain when they are there, where are they, and I have been confirming that with a bunch of my friends who can also feel that. How can I explain that to someone who never felt subtle energy in their life? It feels like I have schizophrenia when you're trying to explain that.
Well, basically, you can put it like that. You are on a television, you are talking, but their controller is on mute. Simple
Basically,
as that.
one of your senses. It's like. It's almost like, imagine if colorblind people didn't believe in the color red. That would be ridiculous, because 99% of people, 95 probably % of people see all colors that humans can see.
But we also see them in different shapes, in different shades. So we don't see, all of us do not see the same reflection. For example, this green. You might probably see this green differently than I see it but we will never
different
know.
shade, and we cannot confirm.
We cannot
Maybe
confirm.
we have inverted colors. We cannot
Who
confirm
knows?
that.
Who knows?
Yeah, it would be ridiculous if a colorblind person said, "Yeah, I don't believe in red. You guys are lying. Red doesn't exist." But we have that with energy. I believe most humans can feel energy. Like the majority of humans, maybe 80%.
You can feel the heat. The heat from the sun is energy. The blessings from the winds
Yeah.
are also energies. The vibrations from the earthquakes, they are also energies. The water flow, that's also energy.
Yeah,
I'm getting the shivers.
yeah. There's a doggy here.
Hi, Doggo.
Doggy. Hi. I think the camera didn't pick up on the doggy. I was kind of hoping.
It was
But,
very funny and very random. Like all of a sudden, you can hear the sound, you can hear the energy as we were talking about energy.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
can
that-
see a
that's
synchronicity there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of difference. Actually, I think it's not a difference, but culture makes it a difference between physical energy and subtle energy. Because I think we're using the wrong word when we're saying energy. It's actually subtle matter that moves and creates energy. So, for example, electromagnetic energy is physical energy. It's connected to how electrons move
Yeah.
and do something. I'm not a physicist, so don't
And apparently your heart also creates an electromagnetic field.
bodies create
Bodies also
Brains
create.
also.
Brains also.
nervous systems.
And even though what I've heard recently from some medical nurse, that the reason that the heart actually works on a different impulse than the brain works, but that's why sometimes when a person gets a heart attack, their brain works, or when a person gets a brain attack, their heart still continues to work. It is insane,
Yeah.
but they cannot function without each other.
Yeah, they say that the heart has a small brain
Yeah.
within.
But some other beliefs say that there is a part of our soul in our hearts. Some belief systems, I have to say that.
Yes.
That is also in the heart, and that is as small as a little corner of your nail. And they also said that the soul also have a grammage, like a gram.
You can
They
weight
measure.
the soul.
You can weight the soul. Imagine.
interesting.
How can you even weight something that is
what
not?
cultures? Do you remember what cultures?
I believe that. Oh shit! I cannot remember.
Can you, for location-wise, you don't have to be
No,
precise.
I cannot remember. I was just hearing that with the stories and my readings and everything, that they're actually believing that it's in the heart.
Yeah, I believe-
could be
I believe
Hindus. Could be Hindus.
It sounds
I'm
very
not
Hindu.
sure.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, could be Hindus.
But I'm not sure. I'm not
Could
sure.
be Hindus. There's also a problem with me that I'm most of the times overwhelming myself with stuff, and I
Yeah,
learn
so don't-
so much stuff. I cannot sometimes pick up the pieces. I think it's
Yeah.
Hindus. I think it's
Yeah,
Hindus.
because when I started this channel, I tried to, even though I have like a little bit of subscribers, I try to track everything that I say, like what's the source of these things, because people on the internet are cruel.
Oh, I
They
can provide you with
nitpick
links.
everything you say.
I can
if you say
bookmark.
some-
I can bookmark. I can provide
Yes.
bookmarks.
I
can
have
provide
enormous
bookmarks.
bookmark. But let me get back to subtle energy and what it is. It's from what I understand, but my background is mostly from a philosophical organization that's based in theosophy. So, but theosophy is based in in ancient Hindu thinking, Vedic thinking, but kind of twisted, a little bit changed. So I don't know where this idea exactly comes from. Now, I was saying right now that I'm trying to pinpoint exactly, but sometimes I don't even know. That energy, what we call subtle energy, what we call prana or chi, is actually subtle matter, and how it moves, it creates energy. I used electromagnetic energy as an example of physical energy. It's physical particles, electrons moving and creating energy. In the same sense, subtle energy is something else we don't understand, but we as living beings can perceive that. Maybe devices still cannot. And that is moving and creating energy.
Yes.
And that goes on for different levels. You have mental matter, the stuff our thoughts are made out of.
Yeah, thoughts
And
are
the
also energy.
spiritual,
Also, the
like-
impulses that the brain sends to my hand to move like this, that's also energy. And then even that impulse that I wasn't even thinking what I was doing, my brain already knew what I was supposed to do with my hand.
Yeah, yeah. But the average materialist would tell you that you think you were thinking something and you moved your hand, but it's actually your brain just doing thing and creating illusions. What would you say to that?
That reminded me of the movies with zombies. Brains.
Yeah.
I'm personally thinking that our bodies are not just living in one dimension, that they are living in multi-dimensions all the same time. And I'm
And
thinking...
it's all part of the same world that
Yes.
has a lot of layers to it.
Yes, because your micro-universe and my micro-universe basically brought us here to this macro-universe to
Yeah.
create this podcast. That
And
was also energy.
my micro-universe is a replication of the macro-universe, and your micro-universe is a replication of the macro-universe, so basically...
Yes, as above, so below.
Lodge.
It's always like
Yeah.
that. Another doggo.
So basically just walking universes. Every single person. And even these humans that are looking at us like we're crazy.
I always say, I don't think I'm crazy, I know I'm crazy. I have a proof on paper.
You have documents.
I have documents. I have documented my insomnia. No, not only me. Other people have documented it for me.
Insanity.
Yes.
You have your insanity on paper, which is much safer than people who have their insanity but don't have the papers.
The papers, and they're walking freely around the planet and causing havoc and wrecks, and I could go
Distraction.
even deeper in the conspiracy theories all the way down.
Yeah, I don't think my camera has enough battery for that. But I can go. We can go back to the topic of how did you deal with? I believe, as any one of us who tried to go in that direction of practicing witchcraft or magic or any form of spiritual practice that's not accepted by the Western culture. How did you? Every one of us had to deal with comments, with people's opinions, and like basically collective tribal gaslighting. How did you deal with that when you began your practice and when you got diagnosed and things like that?
That goes all the way deep to my childhood, where I always believed and felt deep within my heart without even creating any belief system, because even though I was going to Catholic church and singing in a church choir, I felt like there's more to life, that there is not the truth, that the truth is actually individual, but also my rebellion, the rebellious child in me that was always like a bunt-infused teenager that wants to wreak havoc and say F you to the entire world for all the injustice that has been happened. Being a woman of 41 years old that has a mental disorder, that does gaming, making music, writing poetry, and even with my style, I totally go off the track to the normality of the people here.
Weird maxing.
Maxing it out to the weird, and I'm loving every second of it. How do I deal with it? I just simply go with the flow. I enjoy who I am. I enjoy what I am doing. I know I cause no harm. I know I also
That's
help
the most
people.
important thing.
Help people. I harm only myself, honestly. Smoking is bad. Don't even start, okay? Simple as that. Just so we don't promote the unhealthy living.
Yeah. We're
Yes.
just promoting chilling. That's it. We're not promoting cigarettes. We're promoting chilling. So
And
if
this
you're
is also
smoking,
an anxiety relief for me.
chill.
Yeah,
If you're
total
a smoker,
chill.
you can smoke in my podcast because we're chilling here.
We're chilling here.
But-
Everybody's invited. Come chill with us.
Yes.
How,
My question was more about when you started thinking magically when you were a child, and it continued into adulthood.
Yes, it
But
just
there
continues.
were probably points in your life when you were cornered by people who are telling you, oh, you're crazy, this cannot be real. So how did you deal with that specifically? Especially when you have the diagnosis that you have and you have the experiences from that diagnosis that you have. And people usually connect, if you have psychosis, then that's the logic.
You must be having an episode. You must be off your meds. You must be having an episode.
You cannot ever think logically. Nothing you think can be true because you have the diagnosis. So how did you deal with that?
There is a massive wisdom quote from one of the movies. I think it was from the Scarface. Lay low.
Yeah, but you're not laying low.
That's the thing. I'm not laying low.
You're doing the opposite. But at some points in your life, you had to lay low.
Yes, and I'm not talking to every person I know that I occasionally do tarot. I don't talk to all the people I know.
Yeah, she's a tarot reader, by the way. You can ask her to read your tarot. I will put your links in the description.
Thank you very much.
Promotion!
I even have my favorite tarot spiel here.
Wow, yeah, shit, I forgot mine.
So basically, to lay low, people fear what they don't understand. That has always been the truth.
Mm-hmm. It's the truth for everything.
Yeah. And the way through my helping of the people are breaking their own stigma.
You mean volunteering in the facility for volunteer facility for people with mental illnesses.
It's basically a non-government organization that promotes mental health of the society and breaking the stigma. And by me being myself, being this dark, in my dark attire, with my totally unnatural haircut. Oh,
dark
by the way,
but
this is
extremely
natural.
Colorful aura.
This is natural, by the way. I don't dye my hair for years. I'm somewhat same way as Abby from NCIS series. I'm promoting breaking the stigma of different people.
Yes.
And to the extreme different people, even though I don't talk to all the people I know the same way. I would probably not share this podcast with all the people I know. Basically, I don't know, I never really thought about how did I felt when being cornered, because most of the times I am in remission for several years, honestly. I haven't been hospitalized since 2021.
Zero psychosis since
and
2021.
counting. But I'm regularly taking my medications, I'm regularly going to my psychotherapy, I'm also doing the shadow work, the inner work, the self-care.
Important stuff.
I'm using incense stick, I'm consulting the tarot cards and stuff like that. What I always like to do is my intuitive tarot reading. Like, for example, what does the card say? I've picked up the Empress.
Oh, yeah.
I've
I don't
picked up
know
the
if
Empress.
my camera can focus. It's probably gonna be blurry, but
It's an Empress.
I don't wanna adjust the blurriness because it will fuck up everything.
It was an Empress. It was an
Yeah,
Empress.
the Rider-Waite-Smith Empress image.
Fertility, beauty, happiness, nature, pleasure, development, success.
And we just talked about the moon goddess.
Yes. Be happy with the results of your actions. That was just random stuff. That was just something I wanted to do for the podcast.
I wish I brought my...
Oh, I always have them with me. Always.
Yeah, I would have to adjust the camera, but I don't want to do that.
No problem. This was something spontaneous and random, and I love the randomness, and I always love the randomness of your podcasts.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So, how does your experience with psychosis look like? How does it differ from your regular thinking, from the way you practice, and what is your experience with psychosis in particular? Because I asked Berislav the last time about his experiences, so now I'm asking you.
When it comes to my experiences with psychosis, they were very different. What we were talking earlier about thinking that you are grandiose or thinking that everybody wants to get you, I do have an experience in both ways. Experiencing, seeing audiovisual things that are not here, that could also impact my life, were also there. And something that I also like to call slipping through dimensions, because I would see in my psychosis something that is like a proof of something that never happened.
Something physical.
But it was a physical proof of something that never happened. I even have a picture proof. I took a picture of it. I have a physical proof of something that happened. But for all the other people, that never happened.
That could also be a result of gaslighting, not actual psychosis. Because
That
people
could.
who do have psychosis, who do experience things that are not real, that are not happening, because they experience that, people can use that to gaslight them.
Yes. And I have also been experiencing with gaslighting as well. So I know what you're talking about as well. It was like, they know I have a psychosis, so they will say something and pretend that they didn't say that, and then I would start questioning my own reality, my own truth. I also had experience with that.
And how do you usually differentiate when it's a distortion of perception caused by psychosis, or if it's a real event that someone is trying to gaslight you never happened?
I do a reality check. Am I stable? Yes.
The state of consciousness is important in these situations.
Very.
If your state of consciousness is kind of woo, then it's probably psychosis. But if your state of consciousness is more focused, normal, it's most likely that you actually perceived something that is there.
Yes. Am I here? Am I stable? Can I feel the ground? Did I took my meds? Did I eat enough? Did I had enough water?
Did you drink water?
Exactly. Great minds think alike, see?
Yeah. Telepathy.
Yep. Energy, connectionness and stuff. It's like a real reality check. There's also a certain techniques that you can do, like 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can feel, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. That is also a quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 reality check. To actually see, am I perceiving something as real or not? Or, for example, if I'm hanging out with someone, I can also ask them, did you saw that? Did you hear that? Is that real? For example, if I'm experiencing audio-visual hallucinations, because a couple of times it happened to me that I have heard like growling or screaming, and that the person that was sitting next to me also heard that. In my own apartment. In my own apartment,
Yeah.
nobody was around, my cats were sleeping, and they don't do those sounds. Those were sounding like a dog
something
growling.
from a different realm, basically. I
wasn't scared. I wasn't scared.
I had hallucinations, but they were substance abused. Substance induced. I didn't take any like hard drugs. It was probably just weed that was laced with something. And 2 days later, I went to work. I was working at a digital studio for graphic design, and I was sitting at my computer, and I heard growling in the background, and it was getting louder and louder. It sounded like a mummy moaning. And I immediately realized that it was a hallucination, because I could hear that the sound was like in between. I don't know
my
how
god,
to
like it wasn't
I don't
here,
know
it
how to
wasn't there.
explain that. It's like when you're dreaming and you hear people from real world yapping something and it wakes you up. Or if you're something like that, but when you're awake, and because my state of consciousness was mostly normal, I was a bit tired, but I had that hallucination from maybe something that was in the weed.
Or you
Be
could
careful
have
with your
probably
drugs,
heard.
people.
Yes.
It's very important not to buy drugs from suspicious people.
She's talking about her own experience.
Anyway,
You can cut that.
I don't have to. This is my channel. I do whatever I want.
Of course.
So,
Rebel!
in that day, I had a couple of hallucinations. I heard my colleague call my name, and I asked her, "Yeah, what do you need?" She was like,
Huh?
"Huh?"
Yep.
I didn't say anything, and then I was like, the next one was a guy talking, muffled talking in the kitchen of of the office, and I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Why is he in the kitchen? Like, because customers are not allowed to get in the kitchen they were just allowed to be in the main office and talk to the graphic designers. So, who is this dude? Why is he talking in
There
the
was
kitchen?
nobody there, probably.
I got
right?
up, no one, and there was no way someone would be able to come inside and go out. That was the second one, and the third one was the mummy moaning.
Oof.
And for me personally, because I never had psychosis, I was never in a psychotic state, I could always feel the difference between hallucinations and real life, and I could like focus on one, focus on other, and change focus. And that's how the moaning was just getting louder and louder. I was like, okay, I don't want to go completely nuts. So I focused on everything physical that I could see. I focused on two ladies laughing. On
Like the 5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah.
1 thing, the reality
yes,
check.
yes. I
is the
focused on
focus.
the random ladies laughing because they were like doing some project. I focused on my screen and the light coming from it. I focused on the music that was coming from the radio. I focused on touch. But I wasn't thinking like that. I wasn't like 3, 2, 1. I was like focus on physical.
on physical.
Focus on physical.
Yeah,
And,
that was like a drastical move to get back to not lose your senses, because you were on a dangerous way. If you would have overthink that mommy moaning and stuff, you could have probably slipped
Yes,
into psychosis.
yes. But
Very
for
fast.
me, it cannot happen because I love hallucinations. Every time they happen, I'm like, yeah! Maybe that's dangerous. Maybe you shouldn't be thinking like that. But for me, it's like a new experience. So I can observe it, think about it rationally. And in those moments that was happening, when the mummy moaning zombie moaning was getting louder and louder, I decided, okay, I had enough fun. I don't want to hear this anymore, so I'm gonna focus only on the physical. And when I focused on the physical sounds, touch, light, sensations, the moaning was kind of decreasing in volume until it disappeared. Like, okay, this is how you deal with hallucinations.
Yeah.
So, how would you say are the differences when you're in a psychotic episode? How do you even differentiate hallucinations, or are there moments when you cannot do that?
From my own experience, from what I can speak, is I mostly don't remember details from my psychotic episodes. I remember like a little sound here and there, or what was said there or here, but I cannot put the wide picture. And the problem is, in a psychotic or manic state, most of the time you are not aware that you're having a psychotic episode, even though you might be even taking your medication properly prescribed. Maybe you did your health routine, your rituals for your beauty, for your body,
Your
for your
skincare
soul,
routine.
your skincare routine. Maybe you got your beauty sleep. I could also slip from the normal state that I'm in now. This is my normal state, believe it or not. You could slip into psychosis like this and you would not be even aware, and every time a person approaches you with like a wrong approach, you're going crazy, you're mental, calm yourself,
You're
you
just
would
gonna
react.
be in denial. You're just
No,
gonna be-
I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, I'm okay, I'm okay. And you wouldn't be aware that the psychosis is actually happening.
Yeah.
Most of the times.
This is exactly what
Yeah.
Berislav told me, and he also told me that the common thing in all of his psychotic breaks is every time he would feel, "I'm back, bitches," like he's again this main
Yeah.
character who knows how everything works, who can manipulate reality, who can do superhuman things.
It
Like-
would go bad.
Yeah, he
every
would always
time.
feel like he's back online, basically.
I'm back in the game.
But his rational mind would never activate.
Mm-hmm.
It would stay in the background, so it would never be able to do those reality checks
Yes.
we just described.
I could not be able to do a reality check when I was having my episodes. For example, what I could remember, I remember breaking a diamond
Wow.
with my own hands in my psychotic
Where did you
episodes.
find the diamond?
Ironically, there was a project that they were selling at the post offices, which was basically a mine your own gem. and those were like little glina boxes that you could like do a little excavation, like on the rocks. Like you had a little magnifying glass and two little tools, and you would excavate a piece of rock and find a crystal inside or a diamond, which was 1 in 1,000 chance. And that was a diamond with a certificate, and it was as big as a nail.
Okay, it's a small one.
It was mine. It was like a small diamond.
Yeah.
I was wearing it around my necklace, in my necklace in a little bottle. And I've managed to do this and break a diamond in my psychosis. When I looked at my arms, it was just glitter, as stardust.
Wow.
Yes, that happened to me. I'm having the shivers.
When you came back to life,
I was in a hospital tied to a bed.
Okay. After that, did you find the diamond again? Okay, that's kind of disturbing.
Nowhere in my house, nowhere in my home that actually happened in this dimension. So
did the diamond even exist?
It was. People were seeing it. It exists on the photos. So
Is the diamond the friends we made along?
We're all stardust, and they do say that only diamond dust can break a diamond or form a diamond, and we're all stardust. And they say stars are diamonds in the sky.
Yeah. So I'm just like wondering if the diamond was real in the first place, or was this happening when you were completely in a psychotic episode throughout the event, or when you got the diamond, when you got the clay, and you found the diamond inside, was that when you were normal?
When I was normal, yes.
Okay.
And the people were also witnessing me opening that diamond and going berserk.
And the diamond just like vanished.
In between my arms. That evening, right prior to my last forceful hospitalization.
Yes. Like an average hyper-rational person would say that you just lost it. But we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened.
In my perception,
it could be that you actually like entered a state of consciousness that gave you the actual ability to cram the diamond.
Yes. Like what I like to say, slipped dimensions. Like Marina from this dimension actually slipped to a dimension of a Marina that can break the diamonds, and us two maybe merge into one, me.
Or maybe your psychosis demon made you hide the diamond and deleted your memory. Something like that.
Or maybe implement a different memory.
Yeah.
It's a thin line. It's a thin line that is basically not existing. I also have to be aware of that.
We
Damn,
never
that
know.
was cool.
But imagine
that
if you just came back home and found that diamond.
Oh, I
that
would be pissed.
Weird.
I would be pissed. That would crush my belief. That would crush my dreams. That would crush my belief of something magical that actually happened to me.
Yeah, because
also,
in this
a theory, when you get a psychosis and when you get extremely angry, you get a superhuman strength. And if you don't believe me, watch Hulk.
Yeah. That's basically the definition of berserkers in Viking history, like ancient Scandinavians. Some people say no, berserkers were just crazy, they didn't do it. But in their stories, berserkers had almost superhuman strength. They were like crazy strong. And I believe that's possible because if you, maybe human body is capable of doing that, but our brains, our minds have these
limitations,
safety locks on them.
Yeah, you could say safety nets, safety limitations. It's like a blocker on your brake or something like that. Maybe. Because many times
your body doesn't waste too much energy, so you die. And the berserkers would just unlock that next level of human capabilities. So everything is possible. We don't know. We don't have. I've experienced weird things like my items disappearing and coming back at the same place that I was looking for them for 5 fucking times.
Yep.
And I was sober looking for this lighter and looking for this deodorant that are really hard to hide because money gnomes. I call them money gnomes.
Money gnomes, I love that. Money gnomes.
And there's absolutely no way to rationally explain that. If anyone has experienced this, write it in the comments. Please, I want to hear more money gnome stories.
Yes, exactly. And if you ever broke a diamond,
With your
hit
bare
me up.
hands.
I need proof. I need to prove that I wasn't the only person in this certain universe and timeline and reality that actually did that. And that I'm not crazy.
I also want to ask one more question. When we talked a while back about intuition, so what do you what would you say is intuition in your opinion, and how do you differentiate it from other feelings such as like anxiety attacks or maybe some vague feelings about something? How do you differentiate? I have my own answers, but I'm asking you now.
For my intuition, it is always, I know it is truth, what I feel about something, or what I can predict something happening, or I know that something is truth. I just know the truth. I just know it. Deep here, I know it's the truth. 100% of the time, what I know, it's truth, and I just know it without explanation. I just know it.
Without words, without images.
Without words,
it's
I
just a
just
feeling.
know,
Yeah.
and every time it ended up to be 100% truth.
Yeah.
100% truth. And when it comes to the other feelings, they're mostly blocked and limited by some other stuff. For example, if I feel anxiety, I feel it all over my body.
Yeah, it's very
I'm-
different. It's
I'm losing my breath, I'm shivering, I cannot focus my mind. But when it comes to intuition, it's like a warmth here, and I just know.
it's clear.
It's clear.
Yeah, but
It's
people
clear.
people often confuse. They say intuition is gut feeling, but not every feelings in your gut are intuition.
Yes.
Sometimes it's anxiety, and anxiety is uncomfortable. It's not pleasant. It's
This is pleasant, this
it's,
is warm. It's like
yes, it's
I'm
clear.
receiving
For me,
a
it's
beam
it's
of light.
just for me intuition feels just clear.
Yes.
It kind of feels like looking through the water of very clear sea and looking at the stones at the bottom.
And you can count the rocks, you can draw
Yes.
them, you can paint them. When you take an image, you see like there's not even a water, like there's nothing, just those rocks.
Yeah.
It's clear as that.
The water is clear, but there are stuff on the bottom of the beach or the sea bank. And when you have anxiety or you're angry or you're overhyped, maybe the emotions are overly positive, the ocean is moving. It's
Yes.
creating a lot of waves and you cannot see shit on the bottom. And the problem is that for people who are skeptical about intuition is that they cannot trust it because they think it's just brain doing something. Even if you don't believe in any of this spiritual mumbo jumbo, you can still understand that the brain can perceive things that we're not consciously aware of, and it can process everything that we're not consciously processing. And it's basically called in neurobiology thin slicing. I don't agree with the explanation for thin slicing, but I think it can help people trust their intuition more.
Yeah, yeah. And that's also uvjetovano. Help me find the word.
Oh shit, I cannot remember the English well.
Conditioned.
Conditioned, yeah.
That's also conditioned by the belief system that you were brought into and that you do believe in, because somebody would say for something that is a miracle, some other person would say it was God's work, other person would say it was a synchronicity,
Yes.
other person would say answer to your prayers.
And someone else would say it's a coincidence.
Yes.
It all depends on your belief system. So basically what I was saying is how our belief systems shape our perception, and there's a lot of science behind that, and most people today don't understand that if you don't believe in something, not just that you think it's not real, if you don't have an idea of what that thing is, you don't understand it, your brain kind of glosses over it,
Yes.
kind of skips over it.
Yes.
And if you're over focusing on some things, you over perceive them, and our entire perception of reality is shaped by our belief systems.
But what you also have to have in mind that the reality first we project it, then perceive it. It's actually not the other way around. Because
Yes.
many people think that we perceive reality. Actually, we are projecting it through our,
Projecting
what I like
ideas.
to say, prism. We
Uh-huh.
project reality and then we perceive it back.
Yeah, basically projecting images that our brain already has, and then we're perceiving how those images interact with real world.
I would take an example for someone that, in the pure example, had a problem with lung problems. They would perceive every cigarette as a danger, and I perceive it as a chill.
Okay, my battery is almost dead, so thank you so much for being in my podcast, and thank you guys for watching, whoever was watching. Maybe one day I'll become famous.
Me too. Thank you. Bye.